Now, today's presentation will be led by Lane from right here out of Region 10, and we're excited for him to walk with us through today's session topic, Stop the Summer Slide. And with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Lane.
Well, good afternoon. It is pretty much afternoon right now. So, yeah, when I was asked to do this is one of my favorite topics to talk to parents about, especially this time of year. As I found out today at a school I was at, visiting kiddos and working with teachers, they have like 5 days left before they're done for the summer. And so, my favorite topic is always to give up parents ideas and some helpful tips for the summer. What do we do? How do we stop that? We call it the summer slide. When we're home for, month and a half, 2 months plus, and we don't want our kiddos to lose out on learning, and we want to keep behavior going the way it is and all that fun stuff. So I put together this fun little presentation, and it's to help keep kids learning, growing, and thriving all summer long. Parents, I put it together with you in mind. Being a parent myself, this would have been great information for me to have when I was a dad. I still am a dad. My kids just don't live with me anymore. They are out on their own. And I always tell people they're out on their own. They don't ask for money. So to me, that was my win. And so this is where we're at. What do we do over the summer? They're going to be home. We're going to need things. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. And so what do parents do? Like, what do I as a parent do to help make sure my kiddo keeps going over the summer? And what I tell parents is it's actually simpler than you think. And I love it because part of what I do for a living is I do brain research. I've been able to do brain research for the last 20 years, as well as teach and I do consulting for autism and behavior. And I've done all the fun stuff, been a principal, vice principal, sped director, you name it. I think I've tried it in education or been there in education. My favorite part is the brain research because it gets back to what we need, our kids, ourselves, human beings as a whole. And the beautiful thing about brain research is the things that are best for our kids, especially over the summer, are mostly free and simple and easy. And it also involves us as parents being involved. And you do some of the activities we're going to talk about today, it's actually a benefit for your brain to stay strong as we age too. So there's just a win-win across the board for this. So without further ado, we're going to get going. And so I think in order to look at this topic today, I put it in four big sections. We look at executive functions. Now, executive functions is a fancy term for a list of skills that we all need to have as human beings to be successful. We have to start on executive functions pretty much from birth. Some of them we actually start while they're still in the womb, but we got to start from birth and keep going. And some executive functions, my adult friends, we have to keep working on all the way through our adulthood. We're going to talk about why these are important, what they are, and why these. The funny thing is these don't show up on report cards, but they're going to dictate what your child's report card is going to look like. They're going to dictate about your children's behavior. These are the underpinning, the basic foundation skills that we have got to start getting into place as parents. We're going to look at co-regulation, which is a part of helping them with some of these functions. Literacy, reading and writing. We're going to look at those super quick today, because we need our kiddos to keep reading, keep writing over the summer, but there's some fun things we can do at home to help them out with that. And we're going to round out with play, which for all school age children, play is the number one thing on the planet to work on executive functions, to keep skills in place, to get my brain developed, to get my neural pathways and all the wiring in my brain as strong as possible. So there's our four sections. And guess what? We're going to cover them in about 20 minutes. So hang on, here we go. Executive functions are first. Parents, I'm going to give you a nice overview. By the way, if you want a copy of these handouts, you definitely can have a copy. I always love to share with parents so you can use them, share them with other parents. But here we go. Executive functions. They're our brain's control center. Our brains have a major control center. We call it executive functions. For your kiddos, that control center is what helps them learn, behave, and handle life as they grow up. And so our executive functions are what we need for managing big emotions, paying attention, making friends, solving problems, and getting things done, plus so much more in life. And so when we look at these types of skills early, and we start working on things that build these skills early, we're not just helping our kids with behavior or when they go to school or while they're at school. We're actually setting them up for the confidence, independence, and the success they need for life. And so here is a basic outline list of all of our executive functions as human beings. We need all of these in place to have that solid foundation for what I call building our buildings on for the rest of our lives. Working memory, inhibitory control. These got some fancy names. Like inhibitory control sounds fancy, but it's basically everybody's pause button. Inhibitory control is that pause button you push before you do something dumb. And so those are the things that we're looking at: working memory, inhibitory control, self-regulation, emotional control, being able to manage my time, organizing, planning, and prioritizing. And cognitive flexibility is my ability to switch gears, to go to something different and not like get derailed by it. So I will tell parents in here, the one thing we're noticing is a lot of these executive functioning skills are getting attacked the more our children are in front of screens and technology. I am not saying technology is bad. I am saying how we use it with our children is bad. We don't use technology well in our country with children. It is not a good thing that we do. When we control it, we manage it, and we teach the balance to have with it, it can actually be a great thing for our brains. But understand that because of where we're at, especially in the United States, we're not in a good place with technology in our children's brains right now. So just an FYI. Now, parents, you need to know this. The stronger my executive functions, the more you as my parent help me build these, especially the first 5 years in life. These are the best predictors we have, according to research, for for graduation, for employment, for independence, my mental health, and my overall life outcomes. So these are better predicting my long-term success more than my IQ, and yes, way more than grades can predict. So I tell parents it's an interesting thing when we're looking at this and teaching parents about this now. Now, sounds like, ooh, how do we do this? Because these are such important skills. They got to take forever. They got to take a lot of work, lots of money, all kinds of stuff to get them in place. Wrong. It actually is easier than we think. I'm going to give you some fun things to do today with your kids over the summer that are some of the best things you can do to build up these skills. But first, parents, we got to talk about this. Co-regulation. One of the biggest issues we have right now with our children in schools, with our children in our society, is their ability or lack of ability to regulate themselves when emotions hit. And so everybody says, oh, behavior this, behavior that. They need to go to that therapy to go to this therapy. But in reality, all human beings learn how to regulate by co-regulating with other adults, especially from birth to age 5. When adults fail to co-regulate, children get left alone with all these emotions that their brains are absolutely not able to manage right now. Not until they're much, much older. You're going to find out how much older. It's into the 20s. So we now go from learning to survival. Children go from trying to learn and manage things to just surviving if I don't have an adult to regulate with. So what that means is a child's brain, your child's brain, is going to start co-regulating with all adult brains around them within seconds. They will co-regulate with mom and dad's brain and teachers' brains first and foremost. So if mom and dad, teachers are not in a good headspace, they're not doing well, whatever is up there in that brain of yours gets fed down to your children in seconds. And so that's why we as the adults have got to be well aware of how we are acting, what we're doing, our demeanor, our stress levels, and things that are going on. Please understand, being a single dad myself, I had stress. We all don't have great days, do we, parents? There's some days, parents, you can agree, that are just tough. It's okay to have tough days. It is okay to have a bad day. It's okay to be not in a good mood. But what I need you to do is let your kids know it's not them. Hey, look, you know what? Dad's not doing really well today. Please understand it's not you. And 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 be okay with it. Because what regulation is when we're mad or upset or stressed out, it's our ability to bring ourselves back to calm as quick as we can. And children need to watch that, but they also have to learn that my mood, my stress, my anger, my upset, attitude, whatever it is, isn't them though. It's not about them. And so that they can, their brain doesn't carry it for them too. So that's something to think about. Think about this. As soon as your child is in the sensory field of another adult, they start regulating with that adult. And so, parents, our number one job actually is first and foremost, surround our kids with just good human beings. Surround your children with good friends, good family, good acquaintances that are, they know how to stay regulated. They're good people. They're calm. That is the greatest thing we can do. Do you realize that for every toxic relationship our children are around, it takes about 6 calm and good regulating relationships to make up for it? And so those are things that we as parents need to watch for first. Who are the people around our kids? What type of human beings are they? And so the next thing, parents, is if you're able to stay calm and regulated, then you do great things for your children. Even though there's just chaos in front of you in your house, or chaos out in Walmart, or chaos out in HEB getting groceries, been there, done that. If you're able to stay calm and regulated, you actually start lowering your child's heart rate right away. You actually lower their cortisol, their stress hormone right away. And that limbic system, that system that is lighting them up right now. If you can stay calm for at least 30 to 90 seconds, their limbic system literally almost attaches to yours and tries to match your calmness. So think about it. Just by practicing that, it takes practice. It's not something you can just do. But dysregulated adults will automatically escalate all situations. Regulated adults just de-escalate them just by being there. You don't have to say anything. Just be calm. And so there's some information that we've gotten in. There's a lot of research in this area, in area of children's development and everything else. I just wanted to share it with you because it's things we can work on over the summer too. So the more I'm around regulated adults, the quicker I actually learn how to regulate myself. And so that's literally how we as humans learn how to regulate ourselves. So something I think parents, I wish they had told me before I brought my kids home from the hospital, but we learn it over time. And so I share it with you. The next thing, real quick, I want to cover with you that I think we got to look at over the summer for our kids is this reading. We need to bring back the love of reading. Oh my man, do we got to get our kids back to loving reading? Parents, what this means is we show them how fun print can be. Puzzles, games, coloring books, the back of a cereal box, which is still the greatest thing ever to read in my personal opinion. Take them to bookstores, let them look around. I am that person that I don't need to buy anything in Barnes and Noble. I just need to walk into Barnes and Noble and take a big sniff. The fact that they serve coffee there now is just a win-win for me. But reading, our kids have got to love reading again. We cannot be doing this. Parents, just so you understand reading is a 50-50 to the human brain. What we mean by that is 50% of your child's ability to read are the skills they learn. The other 50% of your child's ability to read is their emotion towards print, which means I have to love books. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to wrap myself out. I was in Canada for a couple of weeks. I just got back last week. I get to go home, see family, and work with schools and stuff up there. I might have bought this book. It's a Zamboni book, and if you don't play hockey, you probably don't know what that is, but it cleans the ice at hockey games. And I saw it and I had to have it. It's a kid's book, but I needed to get it because I love reading and I love books. And so, by the way, parents, learning how to read is literally the hardest thing for all human brains to learn in their lifetime. So when your child starts to read, celebrate it, congratulate them, encourage them, and just throw a party because your child literally learned how to do the hardest thing on the planet, which is read. And I'm trying to get schools and teachers and education systems convinced to celebrate the fact that a kid can read even their name. Because to just read your name is an amazing feat in itself for the brain to do because of what the brain has to do to read. Celebrate it, encourage it, and have fun with it. Because the one thing we know, if given the proper time and support, all human brains can learn how to read. And so, parents, encourage. I need my parents out there. Get after it. Show them how great books and print and all things are. Writing is next. Writing and reading go hand in hand, but I put this in here for you. I'm not going to go over it. It's just 5 brain boosting reasons why we need to bring back writing. No more typing and swiping, writing. And so at home parents, this is for you. Things to do at home. Play with Play-Doh, coloring, drawing, doodling, pencils, pens, markers, crayons, chalk, paint. Anything you can do to get your kids to write with is incredible. And I say this because if your child starts drawing on a piece of paper with a pencil and you take the pencil and replace it with a pen and they keep drawing, just that little change in friction between a pencil and a pen creates a new neural pathway in your child's brain. One neural pathway can branch out into about 10,000 other pathways for learning. And all you did was switch the pencil to the pen. You see, this stuff that we talk about, we're trying so hard to do learning for children. We got to go back to just do what we know. Writing positions. Have your kids lay down on the floor, lay on their backs, lay on their stomach, write on an easel. Any position you can get them in to write is incredible to help with writing, reading, and all those things. And parents, the bottom one is all yours. I did this for you. Doing dishes is actually one of the greatest chores on the planet to help with writing skills. And so there you go. Maybe teach them how to do dishes over the summer. Get a chore in place because chores are vital for your children at home also. It actually brings the family cohesiveness together when everybody does chores. And so doing dishes also helps with their writing. So you're welcome. I just thought I'd throw it in there for you. Now, I get to end this off today with play. I went through those other sections really quick because this is my favorite part. Parents, this is all for you. And in the next 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to take a look at this stuff. This is about play. Parents, number one, play is the number one brain developer that exists on the planet for children's brains birth to age 6. The more a child plays from birth to age 6, the better their behavior and social emotional outcomes are for the rest of their life. The more a child plays with blocks, Legos, and things like that to age 9, the better the math scores will be in high school. Play is literally one of the greatest things on the planet for academics and behavior. Don't ask me why we're taking it out of schools and stuff. That's something I keep fighting for, and I'll keep fighting for you and your kids on that one too. We got to get play back. Recess. Recess is one of the greatest things for academics too. So those are things that we work on in our education system to get changed, but at home, you guys can get this in place. Play. We got to get play. Oh, just so you know, school age kids is the best thing to develop their brains and make them stronger, more malleable, more plastic, which means learning and processing are quicker, regardless of a disability. But 19 years and older, so all of us who are 19 years and older, you do realize play is the number one thing on the planet to maintain your brain and fight off or stave off things like dementia, Alzheimer's, brain disease, all these things. So, stress, anxiety, depression, all that stuff. So, play is so important for all humans. So, let me just share this with you now. I'm going to share with you some of the best play activities for executive functions, like we talked about, for all the things we need our kids to have: language development, social emotional development, behavior development, all these things. These are some of the best. But I'm going to show you how we did this. First off, just real quick, starving the brain of play is like choking off the neural wiring for things like attention regulation and learning, and you'll choke it off full stop. If children don't play, all the neural wiring in those areas is going to be full stop. And so play isn't extra, play is necessary for every brain for it to grow. And so play, play, play. And so here we go. I'm going to teach you and show you the things you can play over the summer. First thing you need to do is simple and easy. Get paper, any kind of paper, don't care what kind of paper. I don't care if it's pens, pencils, markers, crayons, chalk, anything to write with, and drawing and doodling. We need our kids to draw and doodle. And look, here's the first 8 things that drawing and doodling does for your children's brain. Brain's control center regulates their nervous system. Visual motor integration increases their good dopamine that helps them get things built, lowers stress, working memory, strengthens their attention without forcing it. It boosts their creativity and problem solving, especially for later on in life, and it helps with their frustration tolerance. Oh, wait, there's more. There's more on this page about what drawing and doodling do. Strengthens emotional expression. supports language development, long-term memory, academic skills, reduces your stress hormones, builds independence and an internal drive, and it activates multiple brain regions at one time. That's just picking up a piece of paper and drawing on it. So there's one activity for the summer for you to do with your kids. Here's another, card games. Parents, you realize card games are one of the best behavior interventions that exist on the planet. Teaching your kid just a simple game of Go Fish is incredible for their brains. So let's take a look. Here's the first five. Working memory, inhibitory control. Inhibitory control is that pause button. Remember, before you do something dumb, stop and think about it. Card games are incredible for that. And so cognitive flexibility, strengthening their attention, planning, strategizing, all the things they're going to need, especially around middle school years. Middle school and high school years, planning, organization, and those executive functioning skills are vital for them to be successful out in the real world. And so start now by playing cards. Here's the other ones for playing cards. Social brain, practicing gratification, which is big. Strengthening pattern recognitions, processing speed, emotional regulation, just by playing cards. And it doesn't matter what card game, whatever your family's favorite card game is. I used to play War with my brother. I played Go Fish with my cousins. We played Spoons, which you might want to get the Band-Aids if you play Spoons, but Spoons we played as a family. Cribbage, Pinochle, like all these card, whatever it is you play, just play cards. That's all I ask. Connect Four. Now, this one might cost a bit of money, but I know at some dollar stores you can get the cheap knockoff Connect Four for about $2.75. I know this because it's the one I bought. And so, Connect Four, great for all of these areas: attention, pattern recognition, cognitive flexibility, inhibitory control, all the stuff we really need our kids to be working on for those executive functions, planning, all that stuff, emotional regulation, processing speed, cause and effect, dopamine fuels their learning, the dopamine they get by trying to almost get there. Social brain stuff, building in their mental endurance. Look at what Connect Four does for our kids. Just a simple Connect Four game. All that does. All of these are going to play vital roles in those executive functions that allow for better academics and behavior in school. But not just that, my success overall in life. And so here's the next one. Cornhole. I know we're in Texas. I had to put cornhole in here. So sorry. But cornhole, the beanbag game. Take a look. I played cornhole with an 18-month-old at a parent training I did about a month and a half ago. And this little 18-month-old and I were throwing beanbags on that cornhole board. Oh my God, just watching him do it was incredible. But think about that 18-month-old brain. Look at what just playing that with me that night did for them. Oh, and there's more. And so think about it. Just a simple, fun game of cornhole in the backyard. You are doing all these things for your kids' brains. To me, that's incredible what we can do. By the way, you can get real cheap cornhole uh, games on Amazon. That's where I found my cheap one. I think I paid like $12 for it. It's just a plastic one. It's not like it's the most sturdy thing in the world, but it does the job. So my favorite game on the planet. Parents, if there's any game anywhere that I say you're going to spend money on, please spend the $5 it costs to get a deck of Uno cards. Uno cards are one of the greatest things on the planet for building executive functions, especially in the area for academics and behavior. Uno was actually one of the major games that I would play when I taught in the behavior units, when I work with kids with big emotional dysregulation, kids who really struggle, autism, kiddos with trauma. Uno is one of those games that just tackles everything we need to all in one game, literally. Uno is the top dog in my world to help with children's brains. And there's the top 10 things from Uno that you can see. And so I put this in here so when you get this, you can look at this and look at all the things you get to do with your kids by just playing things like Uno. And so I'm going to round this out with one of my favorite activities because I know I'm pretty much out of time. But here's what I want to give you, parents. This one's absolutely free. It is actually, aside from Uno, probably one of the best things on the planet parents can go do with their kids this summer to help with their executive functions and to help their kids with academics and behavior. And here it is. Just go for a walk. A 5 or 10 minute walk outside. Here's what you get to do for your kid's brain. I'm just going to let you look at all of these real quick. There's 8 of them on this slide, and there's still one more slide. And this is just going for a walk outside for 10 minutes. Just go for a walk outside. If you can get out in true nature, not the concrete jungle, but in true nature, it's even a bigger effect on your kids. By the way, all this stuff that I went through, guess who else's brain it's fantastic for? Yep, you guessed it, yours. Everything you see that these activities do for your children's brain, they also do for your brain as a parent. So do me a favor, please, please, please take care of your kids this summer. Enjoy your kids this summer. Build each other's brains up by doing these activities together and just have a good time. And please, if there's anything else you need, give me a holler. There's my info, my number, my email, anything you all need, just let me know. I did this in literally like 27 minutes, which has got to be a record for me. I swear it is. But take this information and use it to help your kiddos and also yourselves. And so, ta-da! I did it.
You did. Thank you so much, Lane, for your enthusiasm. I really appreciate how you took something that can feel really big, like preventing the summer loss, and making it really practical and doable for our families. You also helped us, and specifically me, to understand how brain
Mhm.
development really does connect to learning, regulation, movement, especially play in our
Yes.
everyday routine. That was awesome. Thank you so much,
No,
Lane.
for sure. You bet.
Now, before we close, I do want to remind our families that this is our last family learning session for the semester. Boo, but we will resume our family learning opportunities in August, and we do hope that you'll be able to join us there. As always, please continue to check our Region 10 website as well as Partners Resource Network web pages for additional events, resources, and family engagement opportunities.